Hello and welcome to chapter 179 of our streaming adventure. The plan today is to play some Legacy. We are coming up on a qualifier is the wrong word, showcase weekend where you have to cash in 40 QP qualifier points in order to play. And I'm sitting at like 27-ish. So not there. But the good news is like this isn't the end of it. They're not just like done and over with. There is a little bit more time. I think it's the first week in April. So with this quote this is not the last opportunity, but this is an opportunity. Hey, thank you. So this is an opportunity to still try to cash in those QPs, and a good way to receive like a burst of them other than playing in various leagues is the prelim, where it's a little bit more compact than a league. It's 4 rounds. If you 4-0, you get 40. But you can also, and this used to be all or nothing. Now 3-1 will get you 20 QPs. Even a 2-2 gets you 10. So sitting at 27 like we are, if we 2-2 with this, then we're up to 37. Maybe we play, another league or something tomorrow, squeeze out 3 more points, and then we can play on Saturday. So that is the intent. Let's try to scrape together a few more points. Hey, thank you, everybody. Revenant, thank you for bringing people over. I do appreciate it. Playing a little Legacy today, and my deck of choice is normally the Karn Echo deck. What I am trying to do is put a little bit of white in it for Teferi, Time Raveler, and Monastery Mentor, because kind of as a backup plan, I have all these 0 mana artifacts anyway. Why not use like the Ancient Tomb, whatever, to play it quick and then drop a whole bunch, right? So that's what I'm thinking. That is the quote plan. So it's also a deck I'm familiar enough with that I feel like, not having played as much Legacy, I hope I can 2-2. That's the bar. The bar is, can we 2-2? Let's find out. Nammer Squats, we're on the draw. All right. Now, this is a dangerous precedent. We have Urza, Lord High Artificer, in our deck, but our opponent has it as their avatar. Now, that would probably be scarier, the fact that our avatar is Balance. If they have Balance in their deck, well, that's just bad. That's just bad times. All right. So what do we got? Turn 1, Chalice on 1. Turn 2, Karn. Turn 3, lock it up. Keep. Now, all of that is dependent on our opponent to, quote, play along. But I feel like this can be pretty good. Careful study. So is this Dredge? Karn can go get a Tormod's Crypt. This could just be Hogak on their side. I actually don't know if they play Force of Vigor main. Is there a reason to get Lion's Eye in play before I need it? I don't think so. Sorry about this. Just reorganizing a little bit so I can do that. All right. So I feel like that has to have been Hogak. Just careful study showing us Vengevines. Based on that, Lavinia's wording says each opponent can't cast non-creature spells, but that's not the majority of what they play, obviously. Now, it does counter... If no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell, so that would counter Hogak. That might be worth it. Or counter, Rootwalla type things. Sorry, I'm just trying to hop over to actually see a Hogak deck. I don't see Hogak even listed. Well, awesome. Things that I care about. I think Chalice on 1 is relevant. Tormod's Crypt feels like it's better out of the sideboard. Really, it comes down to, is Lavinia worth it? Or are these Hull Breachers necessarily worth it? They are likely to now have counter, or they're likely to have Force of Vigor type effects. Maybe I do need to fight it. And like I was saying, stuff like, is Hull Breacher just... I mean, Hull Breacher works with Echo, so that's not terrible. I think the real question is, do I want these Lavinias? I don't feel like it's going to be that easy to cast Lavinia. I do have Tundra, and I have the Karakas. I mean, I think my... Like, this seems like incredibly strange to hedge on. Yeah, that just feels wrong. Play one. I think if I was going to play one card, it should be Lavinia. It shouldn't be Force of Will. So we'll see how often, if I draw that Force of Will, should it have been a Lavinia instead? Because it's going to do the same thing to fight the Force of Vigor effectively. Because Force of Vigor is going to be played as alt cost more than likely. I mean, that's just my inkling of it. $28 people. Being on the play, the ability to Lotus Petal out a Lavinia could be worthwhile. Maybe not, though. Maybe Lavinia isn't as good as I'm thinking it is. But if their primary way of dealing with a chalice, for example, if the primary way of dealing with a chalice is Nature's Claim, well, that ain't going to work. So if the primary way is dealing by Force of Vigor, I mean, they can hard cast Force of Vigor. It's not insane to believe they could. I don't know. I guess that's all. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. I did. Hey, look, we could cast a turn 2 Lavinia. All right, so they have mulligan to 6. The question is this hand just too slow to deal with whatever they're going to do? Now, this hand gets amazing if I draw a 2-mana land, but that's not even true. I have a lot of things I can do on the 3rd turn. The question is, are any of them good enough? I'm also on the draw. I feel there are better hands than this. Like this one. One, two, three. No, I have to wait till the second turn. Yep. Trophy. I guess the question is, do they play Wasteland? You can't play that on the first turn, sir. Uh-oh, beats. Take it. All right, so then do I just cast Karn here? No, because I like the idea of Urza going into Karn next turn. Okay. Hogak. I accept. So I don't know if I necessarily want to play a land yet, because we could draw. I will take Lion's Eye Diamond. Tap for blue. Sack for blue. Spin. Now, I don't believe I have basics in my deck. Force of Vigor, targeting my Construct. Okay. I'll allow it, I guess. Okay. Can I... This is how I'll get white. Oh, it's not. I cannot currently tap it. Right? Always yield. Always yield. We hit a new echo. I like it. I like it. Might as well spin again. To answer your earlier question about the Lavinia, okay, what are we going after this time? Blue. Blue. Okay, resolves. What are they exiling all this time? A Vengevine that time. Okay. I had not played a land yet, yeah. I'm going to bounce that one. I'm going to play this. I'm going to tap for blue. Play Emery. I'll keep this one. I'll play this. Tap for blue. Play Emery. Choose this one. Still, huh? I guess. And I could attack with this Urza? Rawr. Got him. All right, feeling good about that. Starting with a 1-0. I should say starting with a win. That puts us at 1-0. I was going to say, to answer your question, that old gold border, for me, doesn't really... Like, okay, the first card I think of with that old border is Centaur Archer. Do you know what Centaur Archer does? Scryfall. Centaur Archer. That is the first card I think of when I see that gold border. Now, it just so happens I am very old, And once upon a time, I got my the first starter I ever bought was revised. And in it, I got Sol Ring and the Serendib Efreet that had the wrong color border, so that it was actually a green border on a blue card. And it was like, oh, that was so powerful. But the next thing I bought was a Ice Age starter. But it's like I hadn't bought like new cards in a while. But so I remember, well, okay, that's not true. I remember buying an Ice Age starter. It's probably not the next particularly thing I bought. But in the Ice Age starter, it went rares, uncommons, rares, uncommons, rares, uncommons, rares, and it was just like, it seemed a little weird that, well, that other starter had lands in it. I guess these have lands, something called Adakar Wastes, but it was just like I got a God starter that was all rares and uncommons, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. But I remember seeing gold cards, and the gold cards were like, oh, whoa, look at this. Plus, Melissa Benson's artwork is good. But this Stormbind, the first deck I played in an official tournament was a red-green. It had Urnum Djinn, and this is when I played in an official tournament. It had Urnum Djinn and Stormbind, and I remember Stone Rain and Llanowar Elves, and it was just a race. Not yet, Thorn. We're sitting at 27, which is why we're jumping in this prelim. So I'm at 27 right now, but we got one win on the board. So if we can get one more win, that's 10. If we can get 2 more wins, then we're in for Saturday. So that is the chase. Can we do it? Hope you are doing well. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Now, that's the thing that's going to be interesting about a prelim is with less people, we might just turn over faster. That's entirely possible. So these rounds have the potential to go faster, which will be nice. So time-wise, the Friday prelim for me is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm still at work. I can't necessarily play in the Friday one. It's just how the timing of this works. Like today, this prelim is right at my normal time that I would stream. So that's why this one kind of works out nice. I can't really pull a sickie, no. Not that I am some great important whatever, but I do a lot of stuff every day that kind of needs to be done every day. And unfortunately, my job requires me to be in the building. Well, that's true. If I show them the doctor's note and I'm like, hey, I have right here that Thorn of Wrath said that I was sick. So, I mean, sorry, but I believe, he's no Dr. Pepper, but I still think he knows what he's talking about. I mean, aren't Scottish people doctors? Isn't that a thing? And they'll be like, who the hell, what are you talking about? And I'll just be like, oh yeah, my bad, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry to call you out erroneously. My bad. But to go back to Ice Age, I just feel like Revised has a lot of, quote, cool art because, I mean, it's the descendant of the original arts that are there. But I clearly remember Reconstruction. This is a card that, let's bring it up in Revised. When this came up, I was just like, hell yeah, look at that art. Isn't that awesome? So the resonant part of Magic that caught me early on. But a lot of it, I would say a lot of it was Ice Age. And what's how do you spell Keldoran? Sky Knight. Is this the flying? Yeah. Like, this is not a good card, but like aesthetically, I thought this was awesome. Now, one of my favorite arts of all time is the Christopher Rush Brainstorm. But it's just like you're going through, and here's the best part. This is common. This isn't even one of the first Ice Age cards I saw, because I had all these rares and uncommons. So it's like, I don't know. It's strange to see some of the stuff out there. Now, there are some that are weirder than others. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't quite understand what this is. But I don't know. There's something about the first sets that you played that looking at the art or the flavor text and some of that, like, it starts to kind of evoke a feeling. I remember this one, Keldoran Knight. But it's just like, I don't know. It's something about it that, yeah. I remember Ritual of the Machine. Ritual of the Machine was just like, oh, look at that. That card is amazing. And I get to steal a creature? Are you kidding me? Let's bring it up for those youngins that don't know the power of Ritual of the Machine. All you have to do is pay 4 mana and sack a creature, and you get to steal a very narrow, specific creature. I mean, how is that just not amazing? It's like Terror, but you get the creature. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even really sure what's going on here, but it definitely seemed evocative is the word I keep going back to. It's just something about the ritual just made it seem just the raw power to a 15-year-old when this thing came out. I'm pretty sure that's when Alliances came out. Pretty sure Alliances, yeah, 1996. 15-year-old Jeremy was like, ho, ho, ho. Look at this. The rumors persist of dark deeds performed in the depths of Soldev. When will Daxon heed the danger therein? See, that little tidbit? That's enough. That's enough for you to be like, what the hell is Daxon doing down there, that scumbag? Now, you don't know that he's bad guy. You actually, your frame of reference is this heretic. Flametongue Kavu, that's some hotness. That is another good one. I won the Alliances pre-release at my store by using Nature's Resurgence on Gorilla Chieftain. Oh, yeah. And if you don't know, Gorilla Chieftain is a 4-mana 3/3 that regenerates. Yeah, good luck beating that. But not only that, say they finally kill it. Nature's Blessing. Choose and discard a card from your hand to have target creature get banding, first strike, trample, or a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, I just kept putting a whole bunch of +1/+1 counters on my Gorilla Chieftain and going to town. Now, this was Ice Age and Alliances. I had Surge of Strength too. Choose and discard a red or green card from your hand to get trample and +X/+O. You know what we discarded? Scaled Worm, get wrecked. But no, the Hymn of Rebirth. Hymn of Rebirth is the name of the card I'm trying to think of, because I don't remember what happened. Somehow, they finally killed it. So you know what I did? I put it back into play. And it was just like... All right, thank you. I appreciate it, as always. Cheers to you. We got one match left this round. And there we go. There was an ad at the beginning. Oh, yep. If you are a subscriber, you will not see ads. So I'm not saying you have to subscribe, but consider this. You could follow the channel, and if you follow the channel, you'll see the next time we're going live for stuff like this. And if nothing else, that helps me along. Now, if you really like what you're seeing and you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime Gaming, and you can throw it towards the streamer of your choice. And if you do it here, we do something called the wheel, that subscribers and resubscribers get to add a choice to my wheel. And what that means is I have to play either a specific card, an archetype, or a format of your choice. And then usually on my Tuesdays are when I do that. But I also add in some streams every once in a while, and I broadcast that. And then you can see my content when I package it up later and ship it off to YouTube. You can find it there at !YouTube, !YT. And I've also put together a Discord that just kind of keeps my content centralized. There's not really that much in there other than that. So if you feel like stopping by, I appreciate it. All right. So we've been streaming 35 minutes, one round down. And I think, well, I didn't really start that much early, so if this will be brisk, maybe we can, if we only manage to get 10 points, maybe we put in a league afterwards. We'll see what we have. Sorry. Round 2, fight. Maybe. Potential fight. Sawa Terex. We are on the draw. Okay. We will put that one on the wheel. They were last seen playing Doomsday, and now they're on the play. I'll keep. Excuse me. Okay, Seed of the Synod, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, tap 2, Chalice. Bottom off that Preordain. Oh, hello. Cycle Street Wraith. Force of Will incoming. Force of Will pitching a Limb Duels Vault. Okay. So now the question will be, what do we play? I think a lot of it depends on what we draw, whether it's Teferi or Karn or Hull Breacher. Look, here's another spicy one. Limb Duels Vault. That's a gold border card. What did they do? They did not shuffle. Resolves. I think you hit Karn. Yeah, I think Karn's the scariest thing for you. Well, now. Is it mentor play Lion's Eye Diamond? Or do I just sit back on Hullbreacher? I think Hullbreacher can give me the most pressure and it can feed into the other things. I'm just saying I potentially don't know if I want to play Lion's Eye Diamond here. Although having Lion's Eye Diamond at least gives me the chance, say they're playing Daze. They pondered, kept, played a Lotus Petal, played a Duress. Well, they knew the rest of my hand, so... Maybe I should have waited longer. That's pretty good. All right, let's draw another mana source. I also want to put some pressure on their life total. That's my main thought. So this puts them at 7, so I only need play a Teferi, bounce a Mox Opal, replay the Mox Opal is 7. Are they able to basically play through the draw card punishment of Hullbreacher? I think this is definitely a bring in Force of Will. I mean, Lavinia seems pretty good here too. Because cycling is turned off by Hullbreacher. That's why I'm kind of curious. How do they have removal spells in the main? They have a land. They might just plan to Cavern of Souls, Daze. They thin a land. That's 2. They have 5 cards still in hand. So this could turn off zeros. I could cast it on 1. Maybe it's better on 1. This turns off the fetch land. I did not expect Volcanic Island. Attack. Okay. Time shifted Mystic Sanctuary spoiled. Nice. Okay. So, what's the volcanic for? Why would you show me volcanic? I think is maybe a better question. I like the idea that Echo of Aeons can kill them post. Right? Draw 7. Oh crap! I only have 5 cards in my deck. Guess I'm dead. Anyway, that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, Lavinia and Force of Wills are my first impression here. I also like the idea that Karn can be downward pressure on their Lotus Petals. I do wonder if I need to. Is Chalice on 0 something I consider? I mean, Chalice on 1 feels like it's going to do the most work. So the things I think I care less about, maybe even Urza itself. Not really sure about the cuts as much. Maybe I trim this a little bit. I don't. Brazen Borrower is there more for the purposes of, I don't know, what do I want to say? I guess there's Pyroblast type stuff out of their sideboard. I'm not really sure what this Brazen Borrower is doing. All right. Turn 1, Emry. Turn 1, Emry. So what? You don't do anything. How greedy is this? This can play a Hull Breacher. I feel like it's one of these two. With the right draw, Urza comes online before the Echo. You chip Urza? I'm just thinking, like, unless I hit the LED, this doesn't do me any good. Whereas if I get any treasure tokens, Urza comes online. I'm going to ship the Echo. That is a card. Technically, that misses. Nice duress. Well, now I want to just jam Karn. All right, what is this? This is a force pitching force. They're down to 2 cards left. But I think yeah, I do. I him to Taract them. Correct. That is what we would have done. So now the question here is, is it Urza? Well, I need to get one more. You got a Pyroblast for me? Hard Cast Days. Blowout. Blowout. Serves me right. Had it. Had it the whole time. Hi, buddy. Yep, they're getting all this in while I don't have the mana for it. So Lavinia gives us Force Protection. Okay. Beats. Yep. Why, Echo of Eons, why aren't you a land? What does this cost to? Okay. Let's attack. Paying cost, red elemental blast. Well, that would have been a reason to play it first. Is there an LED in there? No, there are lotus petals, though. There is a chalice in there. Still had all these. I guess they brainstormed and then had to dig through those cards. They just weren't necessarily very good. Good boy. Like, I guess this is what happens. You just draw the same cards repeatedly. No. Hard cast Doomsday. Can we draw a land for the Hull Breacher? Please. LED into Echo, they'll have a 5-card hand, 2 cards in hand, and Doomsday itself. Right? Because Doomsday starts the new graveyard, and a 5-card library and a 2-card hand is 8. They would just basically need to cycle a couple cards away. So they would start with a 5-card library. They're going to draw one for the turn, have 4. They would have to cycle, or thin it with a fetch land. Yeah, I was saying I'm counting how many cards they had. Just because they have a 5-card library, they still have cards in hand for Echo to shuffle back together. I was just making sure. I was like, what do we draw here? Tolarian Academy. Tolarian Academy does not do it. We could draw Force of Will. That might make things easier, but they could still potentially win with an Oracle. Abrade, red elemental blasts. We would have to instant speed an Echo when they go for a draw spell. I don't see anything to be gained by waiting till their turn just for something bad to go wrong. Am I dead? They have passed the second main. This is my upkeep? Okay. Lavinia already turns off the zeros. That's my thought. Yep. I felt like we just needed one more card for like a lot of turns. So we're gonna be on the play this time. I think that gives us more chance to get into chalices and things like that. I think maybe Hull Breacher is better than I was giving it credit for how it turns certain things off, and I think maybe another Echo down. I think Emry being able to rebuy chalices are going to be okay. I mean, yeah, it's possible that Mentor putting pressure is not the same as I don't even necessarily know what. I'm just thinking the idea like a turn one Mentor that I can play like a couple more things off. I can really pressure a life total really fast. That's just the main thing I'm thinking there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best. I also like that it's a non-pyroblastable threat, if that's even worthwhile. I think I'm going to go like this. All right. Yes, I would like to play first. Oh, what's that you say? Force pitching days. Pat? Am I dead? All right, so I need to use this. Don't let them duress me. But in their draw step, see what they've drawn. A days. Okay. Is this better as a counterspell off of Force of Will? It might be. 5 cards in hand. They either can fight it now, so they'll go to 7. All right, do those 3 cards kill us? So Red Elemental Blast could have killed Lavinia anyway. So theoretically, if they have to play a past a turn pile, any spell prowesses us for the win. But that's only with their they haven't played a land drop. Come on. Do you have fog? They do not have fog. All right. We have secured a potential... Okay, we have secured at least 10 points. So now, if we get one more win, we got 20 points for the weekend. 3-1. We look at the prizes real quick. So we're locked into this. If we can squeak out one more win, that gets us 20 points. That gets me to 47, which means we're playing on Saturday. Right, buddy? Good job. Good job. Your moral support... Oh, wow, your breath is so bad. But Sirius's moral support has certainly helped, so good job. Is Lily here to help? Nope, Lily doesn't care about us, does she? Boo Lily, yay Sirius. You might even move up the power rankings, buddy. I mean, not with your... Your breath is bad. Dude, I know you're a dog, but what the crap? Good boy. Good boy. Tiebreakers, I believe, are not relevant, so that's good. But yeah, an hour into the stream, we're done with 2 rounds. We're almost ready to turn over. Sounds good to me, man. Let's keep rolling. You learned today America has banned Scottish, like what? I'm trying to think necessarily what does Scottish food mean? What is haggis? Is haggis Scottish? Like, I don't know if that immediately throws Scotland under the bus, or who does that belong to? Because whoever it is should keep it and not spread it around. Okay, I mean, I support that banned list. I mean, sometimes there's banned and restricted list, but yeah, just straight up ban both of those. Now, I'm sure my mom's side is from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I don't know where I was going with that other than they are some country folk, And my dad is from a farm too, so he's country folk. And both sides, my mom loves to tell a story that when they were dating, one of my dad's favorite meals is called cornmeal mush. It's not very appetizing or whatever, but that's what he likes. It's called cornmeal mush. And she would make it for him, but it would always be reminiscent of what she said is that's the food you would make to give to the dogs. So she is making a meal for her future husband that all intents and purposes in her head, she's like, I'm making dog food. I am making dog food and feeding it to this guy. So I hope I don't have anything like that JP's wife has to deal with. There's some of the stuff I like that she doesn't like, but she's Canadian by way of England. So, I mean, she really doesn't have anything weird that I've seen. I mean, Canadians are like so nice, and there's really nothing like just the fact that like they live near the lake and eat a lot of fresh caught fish. I don't like seafood in general, so that's nothing that, oh yeah, how gross. No, that's just a style of food they like. There's nothing. All right, just in case JP's wife is listening. She puts vinegar on everything. Like, easily too much. Now, I would say as I have grown and my taste buds have changed, there are certain tastes I appreciate more now than I did before, but it's also, I think, tied in a way to my palate. My diversity of meals and stuff growing up was not, we'd have the same thing basically every week. So I have tried more foods since I met my wife. Indian food, Mediterranean food, a lot of stuff that I never ate before. And so I still don't really like the smell of vinegar and stuff like that, but there is something called all dressed chips. Whether or not you're familiar with all dressed chips, kind of weird, and they're super Canadian. So, Neeps and Tatties is the national. I think if I looked that up, I would get in trouble at work, even though I'm not at work. I'm at home. Maybe it has something to do with people that like beer, because I don't drink at all. So maybe that's the part of the food pyramid I'm missing, that attunement to varieties of beer, because I feel like you like varieties of beer that my wife does as well. So that's why I think you guys would get along. So, Tatty is potato and Neeps is turnip. Well, thank God, because that could have been a lot worse. I'm trying to think. Fermentation. Is there anything I like fermented? I guess in a way, is a pickle fermented? I know you started as a cucumber and you brine it, but no, like kimchi, sauerkraut, no thank you. Nope. See, I would say like, okay, dill pickle. If that counts as fermented, that's like the literal only thing I can think of that I would like. But I guess is it similar to like if you pickle something? Oh, well, there you go. Pickled cabbage. Is that fermented? If so, then I would say it sure sounds like pickling is a form of fermentation. You know who probably knows? Google. Dear Google, types of fermented foods. Kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, beer. I like yogurt. I do like sourdough bread. And obviously I like cheese. Are dill pickles fermented? I don't even want to look at your picture. Traditional dill pickles are made by fermenting a cucumber in salty water. There we go. All right, where is your weird nonsense? Haggis, neeps, and tatties. I'm kind of worried. Why is haggis banned in the U.S.? It is illegal to import haggis due to a ban on a food containing sheep lung. I think that's a good rule. So, this just looks like potatoes, and I have had turnips at my Canadian in-laws. I don't know, it's just, I guess to a degree, if you think about sausage is a lot of weird meat, strong emphasis on the air quotes for meat that gets put together for sausage. But like, I don't know, haggis seems interesting. Thorne was talking about finding out some Scottish foods are banned in the U.S., and so we started talking about haggis, and then he said neeps and tatties, and had to clarify that those were potatoes and turnips. I mean, this looks nice on a plate. I just don't want to eat it. Well, that's like, I do not feel the need to eat a heart, a lung, or liver, but I mean, how much really different? I guess those are organs versus just like, you eat a brisket or you eat sirloin or you eat different parts of, like beef. Is that really that much different than organs? I am not a liver person. That's another thing. My parents both love liver and onions, liver and bacon and stuff. I have never felt the need to, you know what I should eat? I should eat pig's blood. That is not a statement. That sentence has never come out of my mouth before right now. I just never have. So, all right, 2 rounds down, 2 wins. If we get one more, we're locked for Saturday. Let's go. What do we got? Winged Hussar, and we won the die roll. All right, what do we got? Turn 1, nothing. We are not eating that for dinner tomorrow. You shush. Mulligan. It's a turn 2 Hull Breacher. Turn 2 Hull Breacher, maybe an Urza. To be perfectly honest, I don't exactly know much about beer, so take that with a large grain of salt. Okay, Hussar has gone down to 5. They're playing Oops. Well, oops, there it is. We might just die. I guess zeros are more important. This is going to be a very strong Mox Opal Island go. Let's go. Let's go. Don't die first turn. Let's go. This feels like bad news. I was right. Oh, turn 1 dead. Look at the cards. Look at the cards. Look at the cards. All right, so I thought I yielded through the turn. Apologies, opponent. So keep in mind, Pact of Negation. I feel like 0 has to be where I start, but all right. So technically, I'd say Force of Wills are in. Lavinia has to be amazing here. And then everything else doesn't really matter. So we need to maximize blue count. Now, I guess, how do they kill? They dread return what? They dread return Thassa's Oracle. Okay. So Brazen Borrower. Do I even want any more of this? I think Tormod's Crypt is better set as a Karn target. Engineered Explosives or Walking Ballista. It doesn't feel like any of that. So what else doesn't matter? Urza doesn't matter. They have counter spells, I guess, right? Slaughter Pact, Nature's Claim. They have Force of Vigor. So let's keep Teferi. I feel like it's the Urzas. Like, it'll be nice if we hit Urza, but that's not the plan. The plan is breach and spin it. I think that's where we're at. Yes, I would like to play first. Chalice on 0. Is that good enough? I would say no. Here we go. Hell yeah, buddy. Okay, we have to put a card back. 1, 2, 3. We're not that far away. Yeah, was Chalice on 0 the thing I needed to do? I mean, we'll find out. Maybe it was. They could potentially have... Well, that's interesting. So, Seat will give me another construct. Seat will pump the construct. Correction. That's bad. Elvish Spirit Guide. Well, or maybe we're just dead. Yep. Well, in this case, so it would have stopped the Lotus Petal. That's all they needed. Now, imagine we had... It doesn't matter. Yeah, they... Not having a removal, like, I get... What's a... Leyline of the Void? Surgical Extraction, but Surgical Extraction doesn't do anything when we have Chalice on 1. So I think at best, if we put Chalice on 0 there, Chalice on 0 would have turned off the Lotus Petal. And then the Summoner's Pact that they played. That's 2 spells they played that it would have turned off. So I could have led And it still would have worked for us because we would have played turn 1 Chromox and then Seat of the Synod. No, we couldn't have done it that. Yeah, Chromox, Seat of the Synod, play Chalice on 0. And then the next turn, we could have played the other seat and had the draw card. We could have had Hullbreacher ready. But it so turns out we drew the land for Urza. So, well, 2-1. We need to win the last round. If we win the last round, we unlock Saturday. Otherwise, we put ourselves to 37, and then we just have to squeeze a couple more points out. What is tomorrow's challenge? Or what is tomorrow's 6 p.m. prelim? I'm going to look up MTG updates. This is a nice Twitter account if you're not already following. MTGO update will post the schedules for prelims and stuff like that. It's actually really interesting. So go follow at MTGO update. It's pretty helpful. Okay, so if we just look at last Friday, that's the other thing is they'll also retweet interesting deck lists and stuff like that. All right, so last Friday, 6 p.m. Oh. Wait, no. That's Pacific time. So Pioneer prelim tomorrow. I guess we know we got our 10, so we only need 3 more points. I think that sounds like Turbo 3-2 leagues. We try to just play something that can break even multiple times. Or, just 5-0 once. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. A 4-1 and a 3-2, that'll lock it in. Or, we just win this last round. That might also be a solid choice. Just saying. Yeah, I agree with Thorn. Why don't we just win this round? That seems like a more efficient use of our time to literally just win. I mean, that if it was down to win or don't win, I would suggest we win. All other things being equal. But at least, I mean, we really did set the bar low when we started. And that's true. If nothing else, Thorn of Wrath, I believe he is a Scottish doctor, has said that I can get out of it. Now, to be fair, my primary care physician is Dr. Pepper. I would have to say, if I filled out my insurance card and stuff like that, the good Dr. Pepper, that is the doctor that I see most in my life is 1,000% Dr. Pepper. I mean, that's just science. And I was having an argument with 2 of my good friends today. 2 of my friends were saying very disparaging remarks about Dr. Pepper. Let me pull it up real quick. So they were complaining about McDonald's. And my point was that the only reason to go to McDonald's is that your drink is a $1 Dr. Pepper. And one of my friends had the audacity to say that Dr. Pepper isn't even a real doctor. And the other one chimed in, yeah, that's true. And I said, listen, the medical qualifications of the pepper can transcend education. And said, look, all I'm saying is if I buy Dr. Pepper, I expect there to be a PhD, an MD, or at least some pepper in the ingredients. And he goes, I guess McDonald's would have to raise the price if that were true, though, just like if you wanted your McRib to be real identifiable meat. So my comeback was, listen, there are 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper. You don't know what they are. One of them could very well be a doctor. One of them might even be pepper. So don't come to me and say, oh, I don't think it's in there. And then I was just like, mic drop. So that ended the conversation. So, boom. Now, maybe they didn't want to talk to me anymore, and that's why it ended the conversation. But that certainly came up today, that I had to come to the defense of Dr. Pepper, which, if I'm not gonna lie, if we could get a sponsorship from Dr. Pepper, I would be ecstatic. Speaking of sponsors, shout out to Mana Traders. Thorn, have you been playing Pioneer this month? Have you already started your trying to qualify? I tried playing, what did I play in Pioneer? I played the mono green, like Walker's deck, and that was okay. But I played the red-black Rakdos Pyromancer off stream, and I did a 4-1 with that. I kind of liked the play of that deck. Here, let me bring it up real quick. So this is what I played, this Rakdos Pyromancer. I thought this was pretty good. So what did we play against? We played against like a blue-white control deck. What was really cool with that is, like, I felt like I knew they had Azorius Charm because they had cycled one, and like I got Lurrus going, and what I did is I used Lurrus to recur a Kroxa every turn, and I just would I was like, discard a card, discard a card, discard a card. And I ended up like running all of their resources down. And then I attacked them. And I did that in the second game too. It was pretty interesting that I would have wanted to be more aggressive, but I realized I didn't want to overextend into them. So like I kept accumulating material in my hand, and I just ran them out with Kroxa, and that got the win. And then we lost to Mono Green Walkers on time because I was winning the first game and then managed to lose it. And then I was losing the second game and I managed to win it, but I was really low on clock, and I ran out of time in the third game. Then I beat a Dredge deck. I beat a blue-black control deck a lot of the same way I beat the blue-white control deck. And then it came down to black-white auras that I got for the 4-1. Do you get Lilt in America? I don't know. What is Lilt? Oh, I have to update that comm because that is not the code anymore. jpinter _ 0RP. This kind of looks like Squirt. Or it looks like it's in the neighborhood of Squirt, right? Squirt adjacent. Careful, that language might get you banned by the bots. It also can be very messy to be Squirt adjacent. Just pay attention. But anyway, a cold can of Lilt on a hot day. I can appreciate it. That's true. You got banned pretty early by the bots, and I don't even... It was something about emojis, I think. We had to rescue you. I mean, Pioneer was one of the first things we played because we were doing like the Yorion, Doom Foretold and stuff like that. That was, I don't know, I found that really kind of fun. But this Niv to Light deck, I don't know, what the heck? Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves. Huh. It's a wolf theme deck? Seriously? I did play against the... Oh, so here's something. They had... Who's the creature? There's a creature that when it comes into play, Renegade Rallier, maybe? That if you had something leave play, it'll like bring it back with it. And they had like this Trial of Ambition. And then it was a Simic colored enchantment that you sacrifice enchantments to tutor up creatures. And then the other creature is that they got one white, kidnap something 4 or less. And then they had the Scarab God. So it was like, it was really pretty interesting, like what their deck was doing overall. I was just like, you know, I'm losing, but bravo, this is pretty freaking cool. Skyclave Apparition, that's what it is. But it like the enchantment is 2 a green and a blue at your end step, maybe? Something Incarnation. Ingenious Incarnation? It is not these cards. Enigmatic Incarnation. I think that's what it was. Enigmatic. Yes. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another enchant. If you do, search your library for a creature that's 1 bigger than it, and then put that card on the battlefield. So they did this. They sacrificed the Edict enchantment, went and got Renegade Rallier, which put the Edict enchantment back in play, and wrecked me again when I was the little elves. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I liked the interesting deck building on their side, because what else did I write down? Oh, it was a Fires of Invention. They had the Scarab God, like I said. I was like, sir, you have opened your rare binder wider than I did. Bravo to you. I mean, sometimes that's just how it goes. You know? I guess I like the idea of Pioneer's not too big, but there are still powerful things that you can do. So I don't know. If I'm gonna start, they don't even call it mono green walkers anymore. They call it mono green mid range. It's because it has a lot more like beatdown. By the way, I feel like I never got to get Vorinclex in play when I was playing. But my opponent played the Vorinclex on me. Holy crap. That thing kills fast. Because not only is it a trample haste 6/6, like if it follows up and does the Nissa who shakes the world, puts 6 counters on the land, not 3, that part of it's brutal. It gets brutal quick. So this is definitely This puts the pressure on and says, "Can you answer me?" And if they can't answer you, they're gonna die. But if they can answer you, then that flips things around pretty quickly. Decimator of the province. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample and haste. And it pumps itself. It's a hoof. This Vorinclex is freaking impressive when you can cast it like on the third turn, if that, with all this acceleration. And then the Burning Trees into Nykthos. Boom, you generate like 6 mana. It gets out of hand fast. But a well-timed removal spell, a well-timed sweeper, stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. This Decimator of the Provinces was in the Dredge deck that I played against. They were doing the 3 and a black zombie that you can, like, when it comes into play, you get a 1/1 white spirit, and then you have to, like, discard cards to hop it back in. And then they had the 1, a blue and a black, the Aberration. Haunted Dead, and then the 1 blue-black 3/3 guy, and Narcomoeba. And it was just Dredge-ish. But it was interesting. Like, we were able to effectively grind them out, and Young Pyromancer did Young Pyromancer things. So, I don't know. Powerful overall, for sure. I mean, this kind of... So, the emerge cost, and I think this is what I was not respecting from them. I'm like, well, they're never going to get to 9 mana. That's dumb. If they had that 4 mana idiot, they sacrifice that. Now they only have to have 5 mana to pump all of their guys and trample. Yeah, I would have gotten absolutely smashed if they managed to get that going. So, thank goodness that they didn't. Okay, is this correct? If you sacrifice a green creature, does it pays for the green cost of the emerge? Cast this spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost reduced by the creature. Yeah. Okay. So, converted mana cost. All right, so you still have to pay the green. So then it makes sense to play it in the green deck. You're going to generate a bunch of green this way, but you're only trimming down on the 6. You're not trimming down on the green. Okay. That's what I was wondering, because it's like, okay, that other deck didn't really have a bunch of green creatures. How is it going to pull that off? But yeah, sacrifice the 4 mana guy and then just get a discount. I mean, playing a 9/9 trample haster that hoofs your team for 5 mana seems decent. Not sure if you can hear that on the microphone, but the dogs are barking upstairs. We must have invaders. Something like that. All right, final round. Let's just win. It'll be pretty hot. There we go. All right. Sorry, it was somebody's birthday in the Discord, and it was one of the Zoomers, so I said happy 13th birthday. They're probably older than that, but aren't all the Zoomers really 12? Aren't the real Zoomers the 12-year-olds we met along the way? That sounds weird. Whatever. They said thank you, so maybe they are 13. When are you turning 60? Bravo. You won the die roll. Would I like to play first? Yes. All right. So, play a Lotus Petal and spin it? The question is, do I play a land first? I probably do, especially because I have a Tundra. They mulligan to 6, so we're going to undo their mulligan. But maybe their hand will suck. I'm not sure about that. I don't necessarily, like, sure, it means you have a better chance of redrawing a petal. Well, yeah, but Teferi, Mox Opal, and a Psy. This was ugly. Urborg. Duress. Thank you. That was freaking awesome. Wow. Okay. So, the best land in play is probably an Ancient Tomb? Yeah. Give me blue. Give me blue. All right, so let's start with an Urza. Tundra, Hull Breacher. So there's a Chalice coming. Cool. Hull Breacher, Emrys. We have Karakas to play next turn. Abrupt Decay by Emery. Oh no! Hmm. 4 mana to replay and get another construct. To attack for 1 less. One, two, three. I could spin or I could attack for 6. I also think I should have just tapped the Ancient Tomb for a black, theoretically, or Urza's Bauble to dig me a fresh card. I guess I could have. What was their opponent's name? Every one of our opponents is playing black cards. It's interesting. Okay. Deck list from them. Crop Rotation, Inquisition, Duress, Stifle. Okay, so Leyline of the Void, Force of Vigor, Abrupt Decay. They had Abrupt Decays in the main, though. Okay. That's if they're playing Bug, which we don't know. So, things that seem relevant. I don't think Lavinia is relevant. I potentially want Forces of Wills if they go for something, but I don't know if I do. I guess Lavinia can stop Force of Vigor. Lavinia can stop Force of Vigor, but it can't stop Abrupt Decay. Not sure Monastery Mentor is fast enough. I guess we could play blockers. So yeah, that Urza was sweet. I guess in the same degree, Teferi can stop what Teferi can stop what Lavinia was planning to stop. Do I need the forces? Like, they really are, they're trying to stop Wasteland more than anything else. I don't think I can keep that. It's got a chalice, but you can't really go anywhere else with it. This goes literal nowhere. This is like, hey, what if we redraw into some stuff? And you're like, yeah, I don't think that's any good. Wow. And I have to put 2 cards back. So turn 1, play that. I guess, what's the other card I want? Do I want the chance at Chalice, or do I want Emery recurring a bauble? Big box, no whammies. Duress? Crap! Maybe I should have kept Urza as a second threat, because if they hit Emery here... So you're saying... So here's the thing. They don't draw any cards that I know of. Then they just abrupt decay it. Right? Or they'll force a vigor me. Caracas, Monastery Mentor, Monastery Mentor Tundra. Yeah. Pitch a second Dark Depths. Play a Hex Mage. Yeah, that's bad. Is there anything that can save me? No, we're dead to a 2020. I guess mulliganing to 5 on the draw, not great. Milling your Caracas, potentially worse. Okay. Chalice, and that's the only thing I can bring back. So here's the question. Do you crack Urza's Bauble here to get another chance at a draw? So Chalice giving me a chance at a draw. Overall, I think yes, because we're going to bring back Duress. So that at least turns the Duress off. Then theoretically, a new Dark Confidant. Here come the beats. Well, that helps. Four. I rebuy Bauble. So now this is worth mana. I could get a Walking Ballista. I could get... That's true. I could also tick up, or I'd have to play defense. See, that's only worth 2 mana. If I go down to 3, I can leave this home to block. If I tick down, I could also tick up. My thought is, how can I get to a Walking Ballista maybe next turn? I don't know if that's the right approach. I'm going to stay home on defense here. Okay. Bojuka Bog. Wasteland. That sucks. I also forgot that they cleared the Chalice. So there's Duress. I think they waste the Tundra, right? That's also bad. Turn off Karn. Oh, wow. That seems worse. That seems definitely wrong. What? What? They named Emery. I mean... So we know they have a Bojuka Bog in hand. Yeah, we get Lattice and then we stand it up. Like, did they have to hope we wouldn't get there? No attacks. You got me. Crop rotation puts them at 9. Where we gotta get all sorts of stuff in here. Come on, play my other song. Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, old reliable Karn Echoes. Heck yeah. We got our 3-1. We got our 20 QPs. That puts us at 47. That means playing on Saturday. Well, here's the real thing. Do we play in Legacy instead? I mean, the big thing for me has been I love playing vintage, but I can get frustrated with it. I can get disillusioned with it. And then it's like I run away and play, Legacy. I go play Pioneer. I go play Modern or anything like that. And I don't know, it just... But here's the whole thing. I jumped through all these hoops. I played Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, another Legacy, just to play Vintage again. So I don't know, it's kind of funny. You are busy Sunday. That's a good point, JP's wife. That is a very astute observation by my smart and beautiful wife. So yeah, I guess we are playing Vintage. Well, that makes that a lot easier, right? So the other thing that, speaking of my great supportive wife, we had a discussion the other day, and it was how I tend to get in my own head and not quite sabotage my own success, but the way I approach the deck evaluation, the different kind of, like how I choose my deck selection. Like basically it comes down to how risk averse I am. And I tend to be the more, oh, well, this bad thing could happen, this bad thing could happen, this bad thing could happen. And I kind of narrow myself into playing a more fair deck, a safer deck, and stuff like that. And if you think about it, by narrowing myself to play this deck that maybe is, 55% against the field, well, if you only win 55% of your matches, then you go 4-3, and like you can't be surprised if you kind of change your upper limit. So I thought of it as rolling a set of dice, right? That when you roll a set of dice, the average is going to be 7. But there are times that you roll a 2, and there are times you roll a 12. So if you try to eliminate the bad things, and you're like, well, I don't want my dice to have this on it, and you adjust it, and you narrow that range of acceptable choices, you might not roll 2 anymore, but you're never going to roll 12 anymore, and you kind of bring yourself down to the middle. So I want to make a point to play the more powerful decks, play the riskier. You could be a baseball player that's just going to keep hitting singles all the time, or you're the one that either hits a home run or strikes out. So I can't get frustrated with just missing the bubble for top 32 in a challenge if I'm not giving myself the best chance to do well. Because that thing is, you can't make top 8 if you're not trying to make top 8. And you can't win the tournament if you can't get to top 8, and so on and so forth. So I definitely think that is the plan, that we need to straighten our mind about what are we going to play in Vintage now. So if you want to head over to the Discord, I'm going to talk about that tonight. Or not, I should say, not necessarily tonight, but we will rejoice in the fact that we have the qualifier points now and that we can play on Saturday. So leading up to that, how do we best choose our deck that is going to get us there? So I really do appreciate everybody that hung out tonight. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the resubscription. I appreciate the raid from the very beginning. If any of you are still hanging around, please consider following the channel. And if you like what we're seeing, maybe do a little bit more, but you don't have to. You can catch our videos on YouTube. You can join our Discord to talk about all my JP Cinematic Universe or whatever the crap I want to call that. So, yeah, basically, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the support. And as always, I appreciate you. See you next time, everybody.